Hi, my name is Drew, and if we haven't met before, welcome to ReadyBudgetGo. If this isn't your first time visiting my channel, then welcome back. I'm glad you're here either way. It's Friday, so it's time for the weekly reel, and that is when I talk about all my income, all my bills, all my spending, and all my saving for the week. This week, I had a major milestone achievement. I got to check another one of my 2026 goals off the list, so I'll talk about that, and I'll also go over all my other numbers. Let's start with talking about the goal that got completed this week. Now, if you are subscribed to my channel and you're watching the post feed, then you would have seen this already. So I decided that I was going to fully fund my Roth IRA essentially on Thursday. And the reason is because the markets dropped like a stone on Thursday, which to me is a great buying opportunity. They may drop further, and that's okay. But just in case there was going to be a rebound, I wanted to take advantage of stocks and ETFs being on sale. So I put the last of the money for the month into my Roth IRA. I've already filmed my videos for next week, so it's already accounted for, and I did account for it in the monthly budget overview, which I'll go over in just a moment. But I noted here that I completed this today. Well, as I'm filming this, it's today. When you're watching this, it would have been yesterday. So the full $7,500 is in my Roth IRA for the year. So that is the 5th goal that I've completed for the year. There's still 3 more left. I have all sinking funds fully funded by end of year. Probably not going to happen, but it's a goal, a stretch goal. Contribute the full $24,500 to my 401k. I am working on that. There's not really much more that I can do for that. I've already increased my contribution to my 401k through payroll deduction. So, it's just a matter of working the rest of the year and letting that money go into the account. And then stockpiling $7,500 toward the 2027 Roth IRA. That'll be the next goal that I work on along with the sinking funds. If you watched my August Budget With Me video, then you've already seen how I'm planning for that for the first month, and we'll see how the rest of the year goes. There are some stockpiles or sinking funds, I use those terms interchangeably, that are going to need to be funded before the end of the year, and since I had a wipeout already, I've got to get that built back up so that I have enough to cover what needs to be covered in the fall. So stay tuned for that. I will, of course, update everyone as things go along. So let's go into the July budget, which is not in here, or at least it's not where it's supposed to be. That was my fault. Well, of course it was my fault. I mean, I can't really blame anyone else. So here we are looking at July. Anything that you see in orange is for this week, and it's kind of a terracotta orange that I'm not really a big fan of, but the only other orange highlighters that I have, one of them is more of a pink, and then the other one ran out, so this was the best that I could do. Anyway, so no income this week, which is not a surprise. Paycheck 2 isn't due until the 31st, so even this video next week, I probably won't have that recorded because it won't be in yet. In terms of bills, Spectrum came out. Spectrum is my home internet service. That was $50 as expected. Wallet spending, $177.41. Under budget, yes, but not as under budget as I would have liked it to have been. And I will go over the detail in what I spent and where coming up here in just a minute or two. Stockpiles got 102 this week because the Flip 7 game decided that I needed to save $2 extra, so that's what happened there. And then you'll see that I filled in this week and next week already for the savings column. So $706 is what I did on Tuesday and Wednesday toward the, what am I trying to say? Toward the Roth IRA, goodness. And then the Roth IRA needed $354 more, and then $300 more to make it an even $2,800. I did film next week's videos, but I think I might have shorted myself. I think I might need more to go into that account. I will have to take a look at the numbers and see how things shook out. And I apologize that I keep putting the book crooked. I don't know why I do that. Maybe it's a left-handed thing. Okay, so that is it for the budget overview. Next, we don't really talk about cash allocation once the month starts. This just shows that I intended to put all that extra savings toward the Roth IRA, and then whatever was left over is going to go toward the business, which it will. Because the business credit card is a spicy meatball right now. Okay, so cash flow. All of these that are highlighted here below this $704, that was all this week. So a bunch of credit card payments came out, and then 2 contributions to the Roth IRA. Nothing came in, only outflows this week, and that's where we are, or that's where I am. Expenses. So last week, remember, there was a sale at Kroger through DoorDash, and so I took advantage of that, and I thought, well, what a good boy am I? That means I should come in under budget next week. And I did, but I knew I was going to have to place a supplemental grocery order, but that didn't get done until the middle of the week. And pretty much I've been living on DoorDash all week. It has been so busy at my 9-to-5 job. On Wednesday, I finished at after 10 o'clock at night, and I started at 8 in the morning. So that was a 14-hour day. I had another day that was like 10 and a half, and another that was about the same. So it's been a very busy week. And that just tells me I need to go to meal delivery service. I'm looking into it. I think I'm going to do Factor. We'll see. But I really got to get on the ball with that, because I don't want to be living on all this takeout. And although I enjoy cooking, I just don't have the time to do it right now. So, okay. Stockpile expenses. I printed this out for this month just because all the stockpiles are at 0. So I did have a order from Target for some household supplies, $42. It was not $42 even, it was $41.14, but I'm rounding. So after the sinking fund allocation is done at the end of the month, I will deduct this from that envelope because it's already spent. I didn't want to put it in there and put it negative, so I'm just recording anything that I spend out of any of those stockpiles here for this month. Next month, I'll record it on the actual sheets in the stockpile binder. And then month-end review we don't talk about, and then we're on to August. Okay, so, well, month-end review we do talk about, but that will be the week after next, probably, because unfortunately, the 31st is on a Friday, which means that starts off a whole new week. So I'm pulling 6 days of August into the July budget, but that's how it goes. Okay, so let's talk about savings. We already talked about it a little bit. Emergency fund, fully funded. Blip fund, fully funded. Let's talk about the Roth IRA. So here we go. So, scoot this over. And by popular demand, we have the return of my Unizento signature pen with the magnetic cap. So satisfying. On the 20th, I had to think there for a minute, I did contribute $706. That was for this week. And that brought the total to $7,146. And then on today, as I'm filming, the 23rd, I contributed the remaining $354. And that brought me to $7,500. So I can stamp all the rest of these. I have a fully funded IRA. The 5 here on the bottom are different from any of the others. These kind of repeat every, 8 or so. But these with the banana, the boba tea, the watermelon, the toast, and the fart, those are all unique to the bottom row. And they're bigger. So it's kind of cheering you on in the home stretch if you work on fully funding your Roth IRA for the year. All right, so here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so I stamped off 11 because I I don't stamp until I get the full amount. So it was 1,060 or something like that that I still owed, or that I still had capacity for. So now everything is all stamped off. The Roth IRA is fully funded. I will start working on next year. I don't have any savings beyond this. And I'm starting to think about my 2026 goals. Or 2027 goals rather. And I've actually been thinking about them for a while now. Thinking about what I've done this year and what I want to do next year. So I think, I don't know. I'll probably do my goals in like November, maybe October, but realistically probably November, maybe December, sometime in the fourth quarter. And I already know what some of them will be, right? So fully funding my 2027 Roth IRA, stockpiling my contribution for my 2028 Roth IRA. But I don't know what those amounts are going to be. At least I don't know what the 2027 contribution limit is. It should go up because inflation is still with us. So the government probably will increase the maximum. My hunch is it's going to go up to 8,000 and maybe 91 or 9,200 for people who are eligible for catch-up contributions, which I am not. I'm too young. But that will be a goal. I'm probably going to put more into my emergency fund. I think I want to set a goal of increasing that by $3,000 a year. I have in here a worksheet that I've completed late last year, filling in all of what I would need for 3 months worth of living expenses, because I figure that's about how much I need liquid to be able to recover from one of life's dramatic turns. And with inflation, with life getting more complex, with new family members, with all of the other things that just is life, I think I want to increase this a little bit each year. Well, $3,000 to some is a little, to some it's not a little. It's an amount, right? So that's about what I want to do for next year. But I will probably go through this exercise again when I'm doing my goal setting. I'll put out a video for that in due time. But for now, that's about all for the weekly update. And for those of you who stayed to the end, I will give a little preview about something that's coming up in my Etsy shop. So I've been teasing the July drop for a really long time. It is going to be epic. I may have to break it up into two. We will see. Depends on how much I can get done this weekend. But I will show you one of the items that is ready. And the reason that more items aren't ready is because I had a misprint from the vendor, so from the printer. So I had to have things reprinted. So I will show you one thing. And this is actually a relaunch. There we go. Of a challenge that I had done previously. Some of you may remember the Sparkle Savings Challenge. And I was doing that on Tuesdays, and I realized that I had done it wrong. So in the original version, it looked a lot like this, but there was one less row. So it said save $100, but if you count this up, this is only 80. So it needed that fifth row. And I don't know how I messed that up, but I did. So I have fixed that and got these reprinted. So there's 100, there's 200, which is $10 a bubble or a circle, 300, which is 15 each, 400, which is 20 each, and 500, which is 25 each. Now, all of these are professionally printed. They are on super nice, luxurious stock paper. And on the back, when you're done, they are placeholders for that amount, right? So we have 100 for red, 200 for yellow, orange, 300 for green, 400 for blue, and 500 for purple. So yeah, so this will save, of course, $1,500 total. This will be available as part of the Etsy launch for July, so stay tuned for that video. I will get it out as soon as I can, but it's a lot to do. It's a lot of print to process. It's a lot of Etsy listings to create. I have to create the launch video, so it is a ton of work. And I love doing it, don't get me wrong. I am not complaining, but it's just these things take time. So stay tuned for that. And for now, thank you so much for tuning in to the Weekly Reel. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up. Put put a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until I see you in the next one, take care.